They say that you can tell a really successful person by how they perform when the market is off. And with that being the case, you are in for such a treat with my guest today. She led our company in sales transaction count in 2022 and 2023. She's amazing, and she's here to share her secrets with you. Tracey Farmer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Tracey, how did you do it? Like, what the market last year was off 25%. Now, sales prices were still up. Bidding wars were often the case, but there were just so few transactions, and yet you sold 48 houses. How does that come together?
So I've lived in Spotsylvania County my entire life. So I feel like I work my sphere very hard, and I'm very fortunate to have the loyal customers to give me the repeat business and the referrals. So I feel very blessed in that regards.
Yeah. So, born in Spotsylvania County?
Spotsylvania County, yes, which is part of Fredericksburg.
Yep. Born and raised. And
That's right.
how many years in the real estate profession?
March will be 20 years.
All right. That's great. So 20 years as a company, we just celebrated 21 years in November. And there's something to be said that with longevity and with a good marketing plan, your ability to receive referrals and grow your reputation gets easier each year. Yet, there are so few Tracey Farmers out there. So in trying to dissect for folks, how this comes together for you, I'm curious on something. How much of your success do you accredit to the product that your customers certainly seem to love, and how much do you put towards your prowess from a marketing perspective?
So I truly feel like that I get the customers based on my service to them. Is that truly feel like that they feel that they're taken care of just like family. And that's what I want. I want to build the relationship. You have some agents that are transactional, some agents that build the relationship. I truly focus on my relationship, and I feel that that gets me to the point that I am at now, and it's helped me become the realtor that I am.
And so, when you look at how your business has evolved over these 20 years, what came natural to you first? Was it this intense customer service that you provide your agents, or was it your sort of ability to market and present yourself?
I feel like I'm really good with connecting with people and building those relationships, which then the rest of it just flows. So the biggest thing is building trust with people. I feel like if they trust you, then that's where it's going to start. Then you get their family, you get their friends. So I put a lot of emphasis on doing that.
And what a great way to be able to prove that you're trustworthy. Well, there's no greater way to prove that in my mind than a real estate transaction, because as I said recently on this show, I describe a real estate transaction as like a series of blind turns for the consumer, and a job of a real estate agent is to inform them. All right, here's what's coming up in this next phase, whether it's the home inspection or could be anything, an appraisal. Here's what I'm anticipating can happen. This is what we're going to do if the cards turn this way, if they turn that way. Does that resonate?
So I actually have a meeting at the beginning, whether you're the seller or the buyer. I have a meeting at the beginning to discuss the current market conditions as well as what to expect. So I go over all those stages right up front before they even start looking at houses or before we list their house. So once we're going through those stages of making a real estate transaction, it's reiterating those stages so they already really know what's next. But I also preface it with there's going to be ups and downs through this whole process. The biggest thing I can tell you is communication's key. You have to feel very comfortable communicating with me, the good, the bad, the ugly, because that's how I can help you.
Of your 48 transactions that you had last year, what would be the average length of time that you would work with someone from like either that listing appointment or the first buyer meeting?
I would say roughly 3 months in this market now, because some people they're taking 6 weeks to get their house ready to sell. Sometimes we're able to sell it right away. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. I would just say an average of 3 months.
All right, Tracey. So let's talk about business pillars. When we do business planning, we talk about sphere of influence, we talk about geo farming, we talk about online leads. Like, where does I know you've talked about sphere, but uh, do you have other business pillars out there?
So, in my prior years of working, I have used other lead sources, but currently, over the last 3 years, I have basically focused on my sphere of influence. With Fredericksburg being such a small town, we're able to, anywhere we go, I feel like I talk real estate. Like it's just a way of life for me. So, being a small town, we're able to see our prior classmates. We're able to see where our kids went to school with other kids, their families. So, I've really focused on my sphere over the last 3 years, and I feel like it's helped me build my business more than I thought, even when I had other lead generations.
Yeah, obviously it's working for you. So from what it sounds like, you wear, real estate on your sleeve so that being a small town, everybody knows that you're a real estate agent.
I feel like people
Uh,
associate me with that. That's just, if you say my
yes,
name, people are going to associate you with real estate.
what a great place to find yourself in terms of business, because you just literally go to the grocery store. You go out and you have a beer and you're growing your real estate business. I'm envious. That is phenomenal.
I've been blessed in that, that's for sure.
Do you find that your business like kind of comes in cycles? Does one listing typically beget another?
Uh, Not necessarily. No, I feel
Okay.
like just working the sphere, it may come from one family, and I may not hear from that family for 3 or 4 years, 5 years. But then you may hear it could be a family that one is selling, and then they have kids that are buying. So I don't feel that it a cycle like a close cycle, but certainly over the years.
That's it. It's just all about your sphere.
And the online presence helps a lot as well.
So that's great. The social media just keeps perpetuating the relationships that
Right.
you have. So what is your favorite network? Are you Facebook? Are you Instagram?
I do a little bit of both. I probably am on Facebook more than Instagram, but I do pay someone to do all my social media.
So that you find that keeps you consistent?
I do. I think it keeps me with about 5 postings a week, and it allows me to do other things that maybe I'm a rainmaker at something else, but I'm not good at technology. So, but I like to
Oh,
be in front of my people.
yes, I love that you call yourself a rainmaker. So, circling back to the earliest discussion that we had today, when I was asking you about like, do you focus more on the product or the marketing? You clearly said my product essentially is my marketing. That my clients have great experiences and they just naturally tell their friends. I'm going to assume that with 20 years in the industry, you have a lot of close relationships with your fellow agents, both inside and outside of Redwood. Is that the case?
Absolutely. I do like to think, or this is what I think, there is about 10% of us that do 90% of the business in our area.
Yep.
So I have been very blessed to have great relationships in the Fredericksburg area with all agents. And when I first got in the business, I did want to be the agent that other agents wanted to work with. I wanted to make it easy for other agents to work with me. And I feel like I've certainly done that and made that reputation to where other agents do want to work with me.
I love it. Sean, Nick, and I, when we started Redwood 21 years ago, we were always talking about how we want to be the agents that that other agents want to work with. And sometimes our clients will be like, wait, does that mean you're not fighting for me? No, not the case. What it means is that we're always going to lead with integrity, so that when our clients lead with integrity, their voice is heard through the negotiations, because people recognize that Redwood is not the type of company. Tracey Farmer is not the type of agent who is going to be insincere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like that builds upon the next one and the next one and the next one.
It's like a beautiful SOI boulder that keeps growing and getting bigger, like a snowball. And you do all this. This is going to be this is the hardball question here. You do all this as an open Cowboy fan. Is that how do you pull that off, and how did that come to be with a woman from Spotsylvania County?
Well, my dad was a huge Cowboy fan, and my husband lives and breathes the Cowboys. You will never see him outside really without anything with Cowboys on. So really, it is a great conversation piece. Hey, if we all like the same team, it wouldn't be any fun, right? So I get a lot of folks that are Giants fans, that are Eagles fans, and the camaraderie is what I build on. And it just makes for a great conversation. So a lot of times, some of my pop buys I have a great military family that I do stuff with, and they're huge Bengals fans. Sometimes my pop buys revolve around those. I recently had a closing, and they're huge Steelers fans, and they got stuff that was Yeti that matched Steelers colors. So then we start. So when football season comes around, they're done with their transaction. Haven't spoke to them for a couple months, but they always are like, good luck today with the game. Or I say, good luck to the game. So I truly feel like it has made conversational pieces that come around year after year, whether they're buying real estate or not. They think of me.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about our area here, the Mid-Atlantic. Although I also kind of miss where I grew up in Pittsburgh, because I knew nobody that was not a Steeler fan. And so when I had my children, especially my son, when he really started taking to sports, I was committed to having an open mind that he'd probably like the Capitals. He'd probably like the then Redskins.
And my grandkids now, one is 6, and she got her first Cowboys jersey this year that she asked for. The other one's 9. She doesn't get into the Cowboys as much as her sister, but my youngest one is all about it. Cowboy Sunday. That's what Sunday is in our household, Cowboy Sunday.
Yes, that's what it is. And I feel like that is the summation of what we've talked about today, is that when you work with Tracey Farmer, you work with good camaraderie, and that has done amazing things for your business. So Tracey, there are a bunch of agents watching this that want to be the next Tracey Farmer. What advice do you have for them?
Well, my husband would say that would be a scary thought, but I would say if you're starting out in real estate, you really need to focus on your relationships. You need to care about your work. You need to care about your people, and just do your best. Build your trust, build your relationships, and then nurture them through the years.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. It was been great hanging with you, and I look forward to doing this again. And I want to send you out with something that feels appropriate. Maybe I'll do my best Jerry Jones, my best Jimmy Johnson. How about Tracey Farmer?
I love it. All right. Thank you. And I appreciate your time.
New swagger. All right. Thanks, Tracey.
Thank you. Take care.